a deposit with us would make sure that we can do that and have and hold availability for you.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, this is Nick Ponte, and in this video I'm going to talk to Ryan a little bit about how a call that he just had went with a potential prospect. So Ryan has been doing sales and some operations and logistics in my agency for how long now?
3 months.
3 months? 3 months. 3
About
months.
to be 3.
About to be 3 months. Okay. 3 months. And, we've been talking to businesses every single day. Maybe you can just give a quick, cap about what your day-to-day is.
Yeah, I mean, every day pretty much reaching out to people who we have listed on Why Thrive, just staying in contact with them, staying top of mind, sending them out, tips and tricks on hey, are you doing this with your business? Or here's things that people are working with, or talking about something and hey, schedule a call with me. And then just seeing who's opening, who's reading, who's clicking, and really then getting in contact with those people, because those are the ones who are really valuable to stay on top of. We've got a big list, but staying on top of the most active ones has been the way that I've been going about it and getting in contact with people.
Cool. So one thing I want to point out is that this matching situation here, this was not planned. I walked in this morning and I saw him. I mean, great minds think alike. We're just great at fashion. What can I say? Basically, Ryan is contacting our leads. A lot of them are through engagement that we see from our email marketing. So as he mentioned, people open up the emails, people click. He follows up with them really quickly if he sees those people doing that, taking action, engaging with our stuff. Now, just a few minutes ago, he had a lead that he spoke with, which was a cabinet company, right?
Yeah, well, she's doing a private lead gen for other cabinet company.
Oh, okay. So she doesn't own the business?
No, her family used to own one of the businesses. It was the top one here. They ended up going out of business a long time ago, but she still has a lot of experience there. She's working for one of their old competitors, doing lead generation. She gets a cut basically, right?
Gotcha. Okay, so she's looking to bring us on to do lead gen, and she's gonna make kind of a cut off of that, I guess.
Yeah, because she's basically trying to get more visitors to her site. She can then, weed out who goes where and refer them to people to get, cuts of that there.
Gotcha. Okay, so a couple of things. The call went really well. Ryan talked to her about a number of things, and a couple of them I want to bring up just because hearing his call and hearing, everybody's got their own styles, their own ways of doing things. And what I like to do is kind of dissect these calls a little bit, when we go through them and think about how we could improve them or do better or do different or whatever. It's always good to analyze, what's going on. Even when you win, you want to kind of reverse engineer why that win happened. And just the same as when you lose, you want to figure out why you lost, why you didn't get that sale or whatever the case. So I'm going to bring up some of the topics and we're just going to rap about them a little bit. So she wanted SEO. You mentioned to her about running ads versus running SEO. And she said something along the lines of or you told her about how the ads are, you can turn the ads on and those will display overnight. You can turn those on tomorrow. It's a short-term marketing strategy. The SEO is a long-term marketing strategy. Some of those things that I like to say to really drive home, because I think that those are key points, when you're telling somebody about that stuff. When I tell them, ads are a short-term marketing strategy, we can turn these on for you overnight. Whereas you're doing SEO, it takes a long time, 4 to 6 months, but we tend to see results quicker than that. So you give them that little seed. You mentioned that, which is great. The other thing that I thought was really good that you were talking about with her is she must have asked you how long would it typically take to see some of the SEO results. So walk me through what you tell somebody in that case.
Well, so the first thing I tell them, right, is, this isn't going to be something that's overnight. She talked about how she had a website that was ranked previously on the first page of Google, right? Mm-hmm. And she's like, we did all this stuff and we're around for a long time. We were ranked overnight, and we were ranked highly, right? And so I told her, tell her she was a little budget conscious, right? And
what made you think that?
From her form submission, right? One of her worries was, high monthly fees.
So she filled out a discovery form, which is part of our process, right? To kind of identify her budget. So Ryan's saying that he was aware of her being on somewhat of a budget, okay?
Yeah. And so I could tell that she was budget conscious. So, that's what made me think of pay-per-click. It's obviously, she said she had about $1,000 that she was working with, right? But that wasn't $1,000 a month.
Mm-hmm.
That was kind of $1,000 of what she's trying to do right now.
So that thought process was, if she only has that amount of money to invest right now, rather than put the money in something that isn't going to give results right away, like the long-term SEO, you transitioned into recommending a short-term strategy, which is Google Ads.
Yeah, because I told her that's what made me say, this is a long-term thing that we focus on, right? We say, go wait for 6 months. We ask you give us a 6-month campaign so that we can really give you the best results, right? Mm-hmm. It may happen sooner, but we don't want to overpromise, underdeliver. And
we like to overpromise and underdeliver. I always gotta think that through right before I tell them that, because I don't want to say it wrong.
Yeah, you want to say underpromise, overdeliver.
Right. That's a good phrase though. Anybody that's trying to sell SEO or sell any type of marketing services to any business, I mean, a good rule of thumb is to set the expectation extremely low. If you will tell them hey, we're gonna get you ranked in 6 months, which is way far out, right? You'll probably rank them in 2 months, you'll probably rank them in 3 months, whatever. If you come in at 2 or 3 months, they're gonna be ecstatic, right? They're gonna love you, they're gonna be happy. But if it takes 6 months, that's what you told them it would take. So, that's what they can expect. It's, I found myself getting a lot of trouble when I was first getting started. When I would, I initially, when you're making a sale, you want people to give you their money. So you want them to you want to promise them the world, right? Initially out of the gate. But that's actually not the best place to put yourself in, especially when it comes to doing or when we're talking about doing marketing services and things like that, because you could be setting yourself up for an unhappy customer calling you up and saying hey, where are all these customers you promised me, or where are these rankings? Why am I not number one? So that saying that we say that, we like to under promise and over deliver is a really good one. You should throw that in your repertoire of whatever you say to your customers in your sales calls.
I mean, one thing that I'll say about that is it might feel like it's easier for you to get sales when you're promising the world all up front, right? But your retention is going to be awful and you're not going to get referrals, right? But when you have customers that you're doing better than you told them that you would, they're going to be referring people to you.
Right.
I mean, with just the websites that we've had in the past few weeks, right? We told them it could take up to 3 weeks. We got them both done in a week, and they're already referring someone to us. We already just had a referral come in yesterday, and they bought a website from us, and they have 2 other people they're referring to us. But if we had told them a week or 5 days and it took longer, then they wouldn't have been as happy.
You'd be setting yourself up for failure. What about the actual call itself? When you told her these things about the strategy, what was your read on her? Was she receptive? Did she want to do it? Tell me a little bit about how it went.
She was very receptive. She was familiar with WordPress, which was good. She talked a little bit about how to use Yoast SEO and stuff in the past, right? So she had at least a basic understanding of on-page SEO. And she was very grateful for all of the information that I gave her, and definitely felt like it was the strategy she needs to go with, right? But budget really was the thing that I think if she had a little bit more in it right now, right? Because her website's not even done, right? She just had this idea and she's just started building, etc. Right? The website is blank at the moment. But if she was getting more leads actively through that site and stuff like that, then and her budget was just a little bit higher, then that would have been an on the phone close right there. But with her at the end, she said, this does sound exactly like what I need to do. I need to get the website built, and I need to start having a few people come through there, because I'm working with what I have right now. And when I'm able to be there, then I need to go with you guys on this, because that's what's going to really take me to the next level. But it just, initial investment wise, I think a lot of people are kind of strapped for cash right now. 35% of the island here is unemployed. So
that's a good point.
It was a budget conscious thing, but based on our call and her, she was like, you guys obviously know what you're doing with SEO, right? Because I told her, we're the #1 ranked Hawaii SEO agency. She's like, yeah, you guys obviously know what you're doing. You're better than anyone else out there. I'm coming to you guys. You're the only people I'm talking to, right?
So because of her, she doesn't have a website yet. She's building the website. There's not a lot we can do for her at that point. So I think you did the right thing, right? The next best thing you could do in that situation, you have 2 options in that situation in my mind. You have 2 options. Number 1, you could get a deposit. We'll talk about that in a second. Or number two, you can do what Ryan did, and because she's not ready, because she doesn't have a lot of this stuff ready to go, like a website and the foundational stuff that you need to run ads and do SEO, you make sure that she knows who the best person to call is when she is ready. And it sounds like you were able to do that. So, that's a win. Obviously, we want to make the sale on every single call. There are a lot of people out there that teach, sale. If you get off the phone and you don't make a sale, you're not doing it right or whatever. I mean, maybe that's the philosophy in some boiler room type setting, but that's not really what we're doing, right? Like, we're talking to other businesses. We live on this little island, right? We see these people at the gas station. Like, we don't want to piss anybody off. We want to build long-term relationships with business owners. So I don't think that's the best strategy. Anyway, you did great with that. The other thing that you could do is get a deposit, which could potentially, hold her a spot on our calendar. Maybe we could give her priority in terms of when she is ready. A deposit would sound like this. That's great. Your website isn't done. If you want, we can take a deposit. We've got a couple more days in this month. We're trying to fill our calendar. And if you give us a deposit, then we can hold a spot for you so that when you are ready, we'll give you priority and make sure that we can act as quickly as possible on your campaign to make sure that we can start getting you leads right away. I mean, you want to get those leads as soon as your website is launched. So, a deposit with us would make sure that we can do that and have and hold availability for you. So that's what a deposit situation would look like. And maybe you don't charge the whole thing, maybe you charge half price or whatever. What were your thoughts on that?
I would have gone for the deposit, but she really didn't have the funds.
She didn't have the money. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, that was
Gotcha.
the only objection I had, is that she couldn't afford $1,000 a month thing right now.
Gotcha. Okay. So did she have show any signs of like how she was going to get the money or process or timeline or any of that? Like,
it was get the website set up, right? First of all,
mm-hmm.
She still has a website on her old company, her family's old company. It's still on the first page for the keywords, right? So she's going to link to there to send some leads to herself, right? So that way, when she starts getting a little bit of trickle of leads, and she's then able to start getting those referrals, because I mean, it's custom cabinetry and it's pretty expensive, right? Like, the lifetime value that she gave us was anywhere between $20,000 and $100,000.
So
right?
Custom cabinetry, we probably should have mentioned that at the beginning of the video, but that's the industry she's in. So, I mean, if you do SEO and, you do, I mean, this is probably underpriced for her industry, let's say you do $1,000 a month and you pay $12,000 per year to do marketing, SEO, for somebody to rank your site. One customer is going to give you a massive ROI in that investment. So, helping to transfer that information to this person in a sales call should be relatively easy. But, she's, oftentimes we talk to business owners who are just getting started, like they don't have a machine that's running already, right? And a lot of people, they hear about SEO and they know they need it or whatever, but oftentimes they don't need it right out of the gate. Like, that's not the most important thing that they need. What they need is to get some cash flow coming in. And then once they have that, you can park some of that money in investing in the long-term strategy, SEO, building the asset, doing those things. So it's your job as a consultant to kind of hear the position of these prospects and make the right prescription as to what they need and make these judgment calls on the phone. So yes, and she knows who to call when she's ready to make a move. So yeah, I mean, good job, dude.
Yeah, I mean, she came in asking about SEO, right? But based on the form that she submitted, and she's like, I've never done Google AdWords before. I don't know if that's anything that is involved with SEO. Based on the budget she gave me and being worried about those high monthly fees, I mean, I was like, look, obviously she's trying to get results now, right? Because if she's just building this site and everything like that, I mean, she's clearly not getting results now. Yeah. Like, the only thing she's doing right now is sending out emails to old customers, right? So she needs results today to be able to pay for the investment into that asset. And so that's why, I really kind of went and hammered that home
with the ads.
Is you want those short-term results, this is what we do, right? The long-term results are important. You're gonna be building an asset that you keep forever, that you can constantly be driving more traffic to, getting leads and everything like that. But if you're coming to us and you're like, I can only spend $1,000 a month, okay, then let's put it into pay-per-click for now, because
make some money, get some cash flow.
Let's let you start getting an ROI on that. So then you can put money into building that asset.
Nice. I love it. And you guys, let us know what you think. I mean, would you have done something differently? How do you handle your sales? Are you the type of person that, won't let somebody leave? I've heard somebody describe it before, like when you get someone on the phone, you need to taser them and and get them to pay you before you let them leave. Are you that type of person, or are you more the type of person that has more of a heart like us? Like, we want to build these long-term relationships. I mean, I'm not saying that our way is the only way or the best way, but I think what's important for us is to really just be authentic and transparent and tell you guys what we're doing and what we're seeing to get results, or maybe even not get results. Maybe we can save you from making mistakes, but this is what we're currently doing right now. So if you got any value out of that at all, smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you in the next one.